love, sacrifice, and miracle. On a quiet night, in the small town of Noberway, a story of love, sacrifice, and a miracle unfolded. A story that will touch your heart and remind you of the power of kindness, selflessness, and the unbreakable bond between mothers and daughters. This is the story of Kosa, a midwife with a heart as big as her smile, and how one act of love led to an unexpected reunion from beyond the grave. A mother's love from beyond, heartwarming true story of sacrifice and miracles. In the picturesque town of Noberway, nestled among rolling hills, there lived a woman named Kosa. She was a midwife and a nurse, but more than that, she was a beacon of hope for the community. Her gentle nature, warm smile, and dedication to her profession made her beloved by all. Every pregnant woman who came to her knew they were in good hands. Kosa had spent many years working for the government before retiring and opening her own private delivery hospital. It wasn't a grand building, but its walls were filled with love and care. Whether a woman came from a wealthy family or barely had enough to live, Kosa never turned anyone away. Her hospital was a sanctuary for women in need, a place where new life came into the world in the most compassionate way. Her passion for her work ran deep. She loved her job, not just because it allowed her to care for others, but because of the joy she felt every time a mother held her newborn for the first time. It was a magical moment that she lived for, and she made sure every woman, regardless of her circumstances, felt supported and loved throughout her pregnancy. One day, a young woman named Ebenar arrived at Kosa's hospital. She was poor, with nothing to offer, but her hope that Kosa would help her deliver her baby safely. Ebenar's frail body showed the signs of a life lived in hardship, but her spirit was strong. She was determined to bring her baby into the world, and Kosa was there to guide her every step of the way. Kosa, with her usual kindness, took Ebenar under her wing. She provided care, comfort, and reassurance, as she had done for countless other women before. Despite Ebenar's fragile condition, Kosa remained optimistic, determined to see both mother and child come through safely. After hours of labor, Ebenar gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She named her Fua, but happiness turned to tragedy soon after. Ebenar, weakened by her life of poverty and the strain of childbirth, fell ill. Kosa tried everything to save her, but her body was too frail. With a heavy heart, Kosa held Ebenar's hand as she took her last breath. Ebenar's final request was for Kosa to take care of her daughter, Fua. Kosa was devastated by Ebenar's death, but she vowed to honor her final wish. She couldn't let Fua grow up alone, so she adopted the baby as her own. From that day forward, Fua became the center of Kosa's world. Kosa treated her no differently than she would have her own biological child, showering her with love and care. As the years passed, Fua grew into a beautiful, intelligent young woman. She excelled in school, driven by a desire to help others, just like the woman she believed to be her mother. Kosa had nurtured Fua's dreams, encouraging her to study medicine so that she could one day take over the hospital. And that's exactly what happened. When Fua graduated from medical school, she returned to Noberway to take charge of the hospital. Under her leadership, the hospital flourished, becoming a hub of care for women in the community. Fua was as dedicated as Kosa had been, and the people of Noberway came to love her just as much as they had loved Kosa. Despite the closeness between them, there was one thing Kosa had never told Fua: the truth about her birth. Kosa couldn't bear to break the bond they shared by revealing that she wasn't Fua's biological mother. After all, Kosa had loved her as her own from the moment she held her in her arms. Fua had never had a reason to doubt that she was Kosa's daughter, and Kosa wanted to keep it that way. Meanwhile, Kosa's own biological daughter, Adujar, had chosen a different path. She had studied banking and finance, and had little interest in following in her mother's footsteps. Although Adujar loved her mother dearly, her passion lay elsewhere. The contrast between Adujar's and Fua's paths was never a source of tension. Instead, it deepened Kosa's appreciation for both her daughters in different ways. One fateful day, Adujar embarked on a business trip that would take her through unfamiliar territories. What she didn't know was that her journey would take a dangerous turn. Late in the evening, as her car passed through a remote area, a group of kidnappers ambushed her. They took her deep into the forest, far from any signs of civilization, demanding a ransom for her release. Adujar was terrified. She had no way of contacting her family, no way of knowing if she would ever see them again. Bound and blindfolded, she lay in the dark, fearing for her life. As the hours passed, she prayed for a miracle, for some way to escape the nightmare she found herself in. In the dead of night, when all hope seemed lost, something extraordinary happened. A figure appeared before Adujar, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. It was Ebenar. Though Adujar had been a small child when Ebenar died, she could feel a connection to the woman standing before her, even if she didn't fully understand who she was. Ebenar, with a calm and reassuring presence, untied Adujar and made them both invisible. She guided Adujar through the forest, past the kidnappers, and back to the safety of Kosa's home. Adujar couldn't believe what was happening, but she trusted the spirit who had come to save her. When they reached Kosa's house, Ebenar instructed Adujar to go inside and call for her mother. Adujar, still in shock, did as she was told. Kosa, concerned by the urgency in her daughter's voice, stepped outside and Fua, curious about the commotion, followed. The moment Kosa laid eyes on Ebenar's spirit, she recognized her immediately. Overcome with emotion, she fell to her knees in gratitude. Kosa knew that Ebenar had not only saved her biological daughter, but had also returned to see the woman Fua had become. As Kosa wept, she knew the time had come to reveal the truth to Fua. Her name is Ebenar. Kosa began, her voice trembling. She gave birth to you in my hospital all those years ago. She passed away shortly after, and I promised her I would take care of you. I never told you because I love you as my own, and I didn't want you to feel different. But tonight, she saved Adujar, and she came to see what a beautiful woman you've become. Oh, Ebenar, thank you for everything. With a gentle wave, Ebenar's spirit vanished into the night. Kosa, Fua, and Adujar were left standing in the quiet, their hearts heavy with emotion. Fua, though stunned by the revelation, felt nothing but love for the woman who had raised her. Kosa's sacrifice and kindness had given her the life she had, and for that, she was eternally grateful. This heartwarming story teaches us that love is not defined by blood, but by the care and dedication we give to one another. Kosa's selflessness in raising Fua, despite not being her biological mother, changed the course of both their lives. Ebenar's love for her daughter transcended death, showing that a mother's bond can never be broken, even in the afterlife. In the end, it was love and kindness that brought them all together. This story reminds us that the relationships we build, the compassion we show, and the promises we keep can create miracles in ways we never expect.